Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you almost live from the heart of the Webbed Kingdom in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. It's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 141. It is February 12th, and I am your host, Bill. I ate a mushroom once and lost 4 days of my life. Castello, and with me?
All the way from the dank hold in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, it's Joshua. That's my emotional support pet, Gribbly, Alt.
You know what happens if he gets destroyed, right?
I get real angry.
You're good. Plus one and plus one. I love that entry. That's just, oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah, so, I know. It's been a mossy path to get here. You know, I'm still kind of schlecking off lichen and all that. So we can bring to you today the Gloomspite Gitz Path to Glory. This is a really fun one. In this one, we're going to go through just probably one of the zaniest Path to Glory setups they've had. Something that gives you something to do in-game as well as out of the game.
Yep.
Go through just a couple fun lists that you can work with. We'll tell you more about them and the reasoning behind it when we get there.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a pretty fun one. But this is actually might be kind of a different format today, right, Bill?
It is, because this is the first of two back-to-back. I mean, we are literally recording. I put the show out Friday night, and we're recording Sunday morning. We normally have a 2-week schedule, but we're so far behind that if we let these books go every 2 weeks, we'll hit that springtime frame where we're going to get inundated with books. I mean, it may be all 40K right now, but that's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, we figured even if we just have one of these in the can for later, it'll just help us get more on track and get some of this content out there, because literally two very good books have come out and need to be covered. So certainly. So it might be a bit of a shorter episode because we, usually do our New Dawn rants about all the things that came out, and we'll still have our news at 11. But as far as it goes, we covered everything. We covered it last week. You're probably, as we're recording this, you're listening to us rant about LVO and everything that came out. And But what's interesting is Soul Shackle. Wow.
Right? That thing is no longer available on the GW website.
I am truly shocked if this is another one of those oopsies, or if maybe they just didn't get the full print run, but they still wanted to release it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
To have a basic box set for a game go unavailable moments after. I mean, this was like, Black Templars level, Battle Sisters of Battle level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. And I didn't even think. I know there was a couple people in the store that were like, I don't care. Nothing I'm going to order is going to be, out of stock soon. Yeah. So nobody really. And then all of a sudden they went to the kiosk. They were like, oh my God, it's not available.
Yeah.
And that was just crazy. I don't know if it has something to do with what we're going to talk about next, but it's just, I don't see how they could. The two factions that are in that box are awesome.
Amazing.
And it might be the dirty, rotten, stinking Necromunda players who bought it out. I mean, because really, those are literally two war bands for Necromunda and Great Terrain in that box.
Yeah. Bringing in the Xenos into Necromunda is always a really fun campaign, Delve. But the big thing for most people was the Arbites, because Enforcers are fun, but these are a little more Judge Dreddy.
Oh yeah,
and it's got the Great Terrain in it. So I think that. Most of, if you look back at the other Kill Team boxes that have come out, they didn't have a ton of really good Necromunda specific factions. And so I bet a lot of us dirty Necromunda players bought them.
I still I don't see how they could have missed the mark by that much. It's just so strange that, like you say, they don't mess up a lot, but usually when they do, it's very high vis.
Yeah.
And people, love to make hay when the sun shines. So
talking about making hay when the sun shines, we've got the 6% price increase coming down the pike.
Yay.
My God. When I saw that email come through, I was like, great.
Yeah, it's Okay, part and parcel. There was a hike in the U.S. tariffs with England.
Yeah.
And it was 7.5%. So I think they're trying to not just absorb some of that cost, but I mean, it hasn't been that long since the last price increase.
No.
But with, we're still they are still feeling the effects of Brexit. A lot of things that you don't think about went up in price over there. And, one of the big costs is electricity.
Yes.
And injection molding machines are not exactly what you'd call eco-friendly.
No.
Especially at the heat that they have to be maintained at. So in the winter, it's even more expensive because you actually have to heat the whole floor just to keep the equipment at a reasonable temperature that you can raise it to do injection plastic injection molding. Yes, I do a lot of backwards things today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do have some overhead costs, but, the flip side of that is, couldn't they have eaten a little bit of that from just the profits?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, we all know they're going out of business July 10th. So
Correct. Yeah.
I think the Mayan calendar was the first one that predicted it. So, yeah, it's, this is their last desperate gamble to make some money before they go under.
Yeah. Well, they're going to release 10th, about a month before. So,
Did you see Auspex Tactics last night put out a video that maybe that report about 10th edition was a fake? I'm here to tell you, folks, 10th edition is not coming. 4th edition is not coming. Do not hold your breath waiting for 10th edition 40K.
Yes. Yeah. More about that in After Dark.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a bit of the intro. Well, normally this part we say we're moving to New Dawn, folks, to talk to you about the new releases,
but we're not gonna.
We're not gonna. You're just gonna have to stay tuned for the news at 11.
Right.
So that means we got to move into creation. Bill,
yay!
Look at you with a list here.
It's a lot of it isn't really okay. So I did finally build the Alris Stone Mage and the Stone Guard for our Lumineth. I've got a box of, what was I taking? Venari Dawn Riders and the Cenari Cathalar, which is going to be my exactly on the dot, perfectly 500 points.
There you go.
So, and that's, I believe, with the changes, because I built that list after the changes came out. So,
okay,
that'll be my little 500 point list. I took the Cathalar not because anything amazing, but it was the correct amount of points.
Yes,
that fit. So I did build 7 different boxes for MCP. The league is in full swing, and I was kind of far behind, so I needed to get a little caught up. So I did.
Good.
Yeah. For the BattleTech World, it was randomly decided, and random because I wasn't there and I got picked. But I'm going to be representing the Eridani Light Horse.
Okay.
So I needed to flesh out a few, building a regiment. So that's quite a few mechs, and I actually had to go to Barnes & Noble and buy the exclusive Eridani Light Horse boxes from them. Mm-hmm. So those just came in yesterday. You've got to get those painted so that we can do our big Alpha Strike battle. I did want to talk a little bit about the Dirty Down water-soluble effects paints. There's a rust, a verdigris, and a moss in the range right now. I'm sure there's going to be more soon. These things are really, honest to God, talent in a bottle. You put this rust on something, and you just you're done. You don't have to.
Really?
Yeah, it's not typhus corrosion, then rise of rust, then maybe some doom bolt. No, this is one shot. Depending, it's really thick. I mean, it's really liquidy. It's water soluble, but you really have to shake the bejesus out of it to get the agitators in there rolling around. But once you do mix the goo into the liquid, as you put it on, you'll see how it's going to work. And you literally want to hold the model wherever you want the rust to start so that it drains the other way, so that it drips down the other way and gives you that rust effect. But it's basically perfect. If you put it on a flat surface and just leave it flat, it's just a perfect ugly rust spot. Whereas if you do it with the effect and you drag it down a little bit and make drips, it's it's bonkers good. And the same thing with the verdigris. Instead of using the nilic oxide and having to just hit that right mixture of medium and nilic to get the right amount, just put this stuff on there, move it around until it's where you like it, and you're done. You walk away. These things go on really strange. And as they dry, you can see how the effect when you first put it on, you're going to look at it and go, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
And then you just walk away, let it dry, and go, oh my God, that's good. So if you find little pots, it's called Dirty Down Water Soluble Paint. They have rust, verdigris, and moss, and they are off the flippin' hook.
Well, I mean, if you're starting to paint up some gits, that moss sounds like it's going to be on point. The rust on point. The verdigris on point. So,
Yipper.
Those are three products you might want to look into if you're getting hardcore into your shroomy boys.
Yep. Gonna save that last one for next. So, what did you do?
So, not too much. I painted up 10 bloodletters. I had done the test model last week.
Yeah.
These are the ones that I had, built last week. Going with a brass skin. So, when demons materialize from the immaterium, they come out of whatever is available. Right. And the theme of my army is this like really grim, dark brass look. So I thought, I think it'll work out. And it really does. I really like how it looks.
Nice.
So I got 10 of those bad boys done. And then I built my World Eater Master of Executions. Oof. I converted the Exalted Champion of Khorne with the giant axe.
Yes.
I saw some actually that kitbash that onto a proper Space Marine. But since most of my stuff is just straight up converted from AOS anyway.
Yeah.
I took him, got a backpack that looks like it's got skulls and a spine, and I got that onto him. I really didn't do too much to him, to be honest, because I thought that it just fit. Because my idea of Khorne berserkers, despite the skinny jeans berserkers that they're selling nowadays, are massive dudes that have ripped out of their armor, and they just have it strapped onto them at this point.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty fitting one. I also like the one they did in the book, and they've shown it on Warhammer Community, where they just took the Master of Executions and put a corn head on it.
Yeah.
Fits.
Perfectly. So,
but I like that guy. He's got the giant axe, and there are actually skulls hanging from the axe.
Oh,
it fit.
That one's on point. I like it.
And that's what I did for creation this week.
That's awesome. It's so weird that we only have like a week, and we actually got stuff done. So
I know, right?
I'm shocked at myself, really.
I'm excited to see what we do by next week.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Well, I'm waiting for primer. So, for some reason, I had to throw away my one bottle of light gray primer. It had just gone, I don't know whether it might have frozen in shipment or something, but it had completely separated into two, the medium section and I'm no longer an acrylic paint, I'm a chunk of plastic section.
Oh, great.
And it was only like 2 or 3 months old. So it's not like, it was Stynylrez, it was Badger, and I don't usually have any issue with Badger paints or primers. So I was shocked. So I've got the new bottle on order. It's supposed to get here tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get stuff done for next week. But we can actually move on to battle.
We actually can. We both got a battle in. Bill, tell us about yours.
Okay, well, mine was unfair and cheaty because it was the Tuesday night Crisis Protocol League. Had a great game. I found it great because my dice were hot. Oh my God. So to set the stage, and I try not to hit this too much because it's Marvel, not 40 AOS. But I was bringing my shield list, which was Nick Fury Sr. with his Howling Commandos, Nick Fury Jr., who we all know and love. Who else did I bring? Let me see here. I brought Hawkeye, Iron Man, and forgot who my last one was. Oh, Captain America. So a pure out shield team. I was going up against Black Order, which had Corvus with the leadership ability, with the gem, Proxima or Supergiant with the gem, Black Cat for some odd reason. I mean, because she takes objectives.
Yeah.
And Black Dwarf. So I'm like, if I get near this guy's team, I will be ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
So I ended up losing the priority roll, thankfully. So that let me pick the sizes because our two crises came up. One was a 16, one was a 19 threat. And I'm like, I'm not playing Black Order at 19.
Nope.
Corvus, Proxima, Black Dwarf. And I'm not doing it. So I picked 16, made the team smaller, hampered him right off the bat. First turn, he jumps across the board, grabs all the objectives, and I'm like, it's all part of my plan, dude. Because I was able to actually, at that point, then react, pick the characters I wanted to myrtleize, and gang up on them.
Yeah.
And I will not say that my dice were freaking hot. He blasted out at me with Black Dwarf one time with 9 dice. I had my regular 4 dice in defense, rolled all wilds.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one result he could not change.
Oh, wow.
So, and he only did like 3 damage out of his 9 dice. I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
That's so gotta hurt. So, yeah, but anyway, took the win on that one. So I'm 1-0 in league play. Yay.
Woo. Against a tough team, too.
Yeah, it was. That was a hard matchup for Shield. So, but
Well, I mean, you did what you had to do to win, right?
yeah, you got to play objectives in that game. You cannot get, unless you decide that your team is simply out there and you purpose build it to kill the other guy. It's hard, and it's really hard to do because the other guy could throw a freaking, Incredible Hulk in there or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to play objectives in that game. So anyway, that was my game. Moving on. Yours?
Mine, not an AOS game, but I did play the new World Eaters yesterday when I got my codex. So it's World Eaters versus Salamanders. I took a Lord Invocatus, 5 Berserkers, and 5 Terminators.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad.
No. It was a 500-point game. Went up against Adrex Agatone, a Master Apothecary, 5 Intercessors, and a unit of 6 Flamer Aggressors, which is just straight in the wheelhouse of Salamanders, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
So,
But, yeah. Okay.
well, I played into World Eater strengths, which is run at them and hit them in the face. Right? And I was like, you know what? I can't be afraid of these flamers. I just need to go in. But the Terminators, I had, one with the normal combi bolter. Then I had combi meltas on 2 of them and combi flamers on the other 2.
Yeah.
Right? So I actually got priority. My goodness. So Lord Invocatus gives you the pregame move. So, before the game even started, I was 7 inches away from them.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then the game starts and I just position exactly where I want to be.
Yep.
The Berserkers didn't get the first charge just because of the terrain was choking.
No.
But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? All right, I'm just going to dump everything into these aggressors for my shooting. So I picked off 3 aggressors before the charge.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and that's with the Master Apothecary and the 6-up Feel No Pain.
Did he even Overwatch?
He did Overwatch when I charged in. He picked 2 off on Overwatch.
Okay.
Which is just kind of that amount of shots. But I drained his command points.
Yeah.
Just so that way I could try and, make it so he doesn't auto 6 on the flamer hits. Yep. So we got in, killed 1.5, so to speak. Like there was 2 with 1 wound left on one of them, and 3 of my guys. Then I got my Lord Invocatus into Adrex Agatone. He survived with 1 wound despite my nasty volleys. Didn't have an invuln save, but rolled so many 6s. I was just like, this isn't fair.
God.
You should be dead statistically right now. So anyway, then it just turned into a smash. Oh, I also shot my plasma with the Berserkers. That's what helped pick off one of the guys in shooting. Then he brings 1 back with his Apothecary on his turn. It's just like smashing back and forth. Invocatus, by the end of it, was down to 2 wounds. I had 1 Terminator left and all 5 of my Berserkers.
That's enough. That's enough.
Well, when he got to my second turn and I charged the Berserkers in, that Corn Eviscerator that they've got, plus 3 strength, minus 4 AP, flat 2 damage. I was like, this thing's insanity.
Donkulous.
Right? So I was like, okay, let's do this. And just like, all right. Oh, wow. 4 of them go through. And I was like, that's 2 damage a pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take the models off.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It was a fun time. It was corn. It was bloody.
Yeah.
I got up to 5 blood tithe points at the very end. And I didn't get enough to do anything meaningful before that. He wasn't spitting out mortal wounds, so I didn't need to drop the 2.
Right.
Didn't get to the point where I had any real solid combat ones. But it made me appreciate, what's going to be the value of having, frankly, Chaos Spawn and stuff just to throw into the wood chipper, just to get a little extra something to get the ball rolling.
Yep.
And I did actually have 30 points left, and it's only 25 for a chaos spawn, but I didn't have a chaos spawn.
Oh, well.
With me. I have them at home.
Damn it.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame, but it was fun. Got to see how they are in melee, which is pretty nasty. Invocatus, that movement is ridiculous. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be we were talking about this yesterday. If the World Eaters didn't have some sort of redonkulous pregame ability to put themselves up, they're literally just going to get shot off the table.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I mean, it might seem unbalanced in the World Eaters' favor, but when you have a strictly melee army, you've got to give them the ability. GW has historically made these all melee armies amazing in melee, but they don't give them the ways to get there.
Yeah.
And, stacking your list with rhinos or any kind of transport, really, just choose through your points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying. So having that big pregame move and having that ability to reposition is so huge to the play style of the army. And it might seem bonkers unfair, and it will be like when you're going up against Tau that are just going to fold like paper. But again, if you're not screening the stuff you need to screen with Tau, or, with most likely Crude or Pathfinders or something, then you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. You have to learn how to fight a melee army in the new, in 10th.
In pre-10th edition. Right? Well, that's what boarding actions and Arc Summon are about. Oh, more about that in After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the games. Those were the games.
Nice. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will jump into the lore of the show, which is Gloomspite. Those little gits.
Make sure you join us tonight for the news at 11.
Okay, as the dear, sweet, nice lady said, it's time for... Oh, no, actually, it's time for the New Dawn stuff.
News at 11, folks.
Yeah.
Today is a little bit of Astra and a lot of Black Library.
Yes, being as it's the Black Library Weekender coming up.
What?
Yeah.
Is that why they do that?
It's so weird that they put that stuff all
I don't know why they release that stuff when they're supposed to release it.
I don't know. That's stupid. So Combat Patrol, Astra Militarum. Hey, guess what? Cadia Stance box. Much, much smaller.
Yes.
But yeah, it's if you're doing your Acadia Stance thing, this is the cheaper way in. Acadian Castellan, which is a really beautiful model. Love the guy. He's got a tactical rock.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. That is a really nice sculpt, I think. I don't know why. It just, that jumps out at me. I think it's the paint job. I think it's the paint.
I agree.
A new commissar. Is he a new commissar?
Oh, he's a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Wow.
Also with tactical rock.
Yes, standing on tactical rock. I'm sorry. That's a holdover from Legion, where everything is perched on its tactical rock. So he's a good looking commissar. His face is a little weird, but he's good. The Adelan Rough Riders. Dun, dun, dun. So if you want your cavalry, I mean, honest to God, horsey cavalry in a 40K, I'm sorry, but one plasma grenade. Okay, anyway.
Hey, man, those horses are going to hit like freight trains.
Really nice Cadian upgrade. They are, but nice Cadian upgrade sprues. So a lot of new heads, which is really, really nice. Some full face helmeted heads, some girl heads, some hurt bandaged heads. Very nice. Very nice.
Gas masks are really cool.
Yeah. And then, just a bunch of combat knives, power sword arm, lasgun arm, slung and unslung.
I actually don't think these are Cadian upgrades. There's a kneeling model.
Oh, those little buggers. They snuck it into the upgrade kit box.
Right?
Oh, my. Oh, God.
Well, we know all the true Cadians won't use that model.
No, I'm going to get that, clip that out, and it's going out the window into the street.
Right?
Yep. Cadia stands, pal.
Yeah. The Aegis defense line, I mean, this has been around forever, but they're, doing another release on it.
Yep. This one's so much nicer.
It looks clean.
And, my old one I still like and I will still use. But yeah, this one's, I like how it has that little strong point in the center.
Yeah.
So much, much nicer version.
Those will be fun for, just overlapping fields of terrain for some really fun sort of trench warfare combat, right?
Yep.
That'll be really fun. So, hey, That's it for 40K.
Or
Specifically, there's the Black Library Celebration 2023 and Captain Messinius for all those who can't wait for him.
That's right. White consoles.
Straight out of the pages of the Dawn of Fire series. He's got his paper loincloth. He's got his eagle gun and his eagle punchy fist.
Yep.
He also has a tactical rock and some, barbed wire on the base.
Oh my God, look at that barbed wire.
Right.
Wow.
I'll take more of that, please.
And the ubiquitous skull.
I mean, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
With that is the Dawn of Fire Iron Kingdom. It comes in a really nice leather-bound special edition.
Yep.
To go ahead and read the quote from the back. You have survived, and by the Emperor be thankful for that, but worse is coming. I don't say it to scare you or goad you. It is simply a fact. The Imperium has been shattered. It has to unite. All of it.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, pretty ominous, right? But,
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful looking cover.
Mm-hmm.
Also going to be released in standard format as well as audiobook.
Yep, which is nice because...
And
this one's a Nick Kime book, so I'm holding out hope that this one's going to be good. So,
well, if you have any doubts about a book being good, leave them now because The End and the Death, Volume 1 is coming to pre-order, folks.
oh my God. Yes, Dan Abnett, first part of The End. Oh, dear God. Sign me up. Getting it now. Also coming out in softcover and ebook, but yeah, forget it. I'm buying the big one. Wow. Beautiful.
Comes with that fold-out, the Imperial Palace Undone.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is a
Interesting.
momentous day, in terms of 40K. Like,
This is the beginning of the end of an era.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been monkeying around with the Horus Heresy for 30 years.
yeah.
And to actually see it come to a completion gives me hope that maybe they're going to take the 40K storyline now and just start ramming it forward.
Yeah.
Because there's no longer anything to hold them back.
You imagine getting, because Dan Abnett's got to finish this up. He's got to shore this up, right? But start bringing him into the fold for, producing 40K moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to start helping that thing sing. And
Yeah.
I love this because it's finally going to put to rest a bunch of questions and conspiracy theories and,
Oh, I'll bet not. I'll bet you they leave all the exact same questions. Whatever questions they answer, they're going to ask for more.
oh, no doubt.
So I think we'll finally know whether or not it's Horus or the Emperor on the throne. I would laugh my fool head off if it turns out that it's Horus on the golden throne and the Emperor's just been kicking around in the lab for 10,000 years. But I don't think they're gonna do that.
Right, he gets struck by horse. Oh, I'm mortally wounded.
Yeah.
Darn
it.
Hey, Call, can you open the door to my special chambers? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Got your back, bro.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing stuff. You get the special little free Black Library Celebration booklet.
Yep.
Comes with a few short stories. Bad Loon Rising, a Zograt and Scrog novel. Andy Clark.
Coming out in a isn't that the one that already came out?
I think it did. This
This is coming out in hardback and ebook. So
Oh, no, this one hasn't come out then.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe
Let's
it's
see.
part 2.
Zograt and his loyal Troggoth Scrog. We'll find out if his ambitions are destined for legend or just a little bit too loony. That's going to be a fun one.
Oh yeah.
I bet you the audiobook's going to be a bonkers good,
I hope so. Oh my, if they get the right narrator, yep.
right? Angels of Darkness, we have another Chaos Space Marines book from Gav Thorpe.
It's the 20th anniversary edition, so it's all in the black cover.
Yeah, it looks great.
Super nice.
Reader's Choice winners were Skarsnik and the Macarian Crusade and Angel of Fire. Wow, they're returning in paperback.
Yes, very nice. Okay, so it was Skarsnik, not the Loon Boss.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we have First Founding
Ooh,
coming out in that really nice cover.
you betcha.
That's pretty. That is party.
It's a lavish coffee table book full of expansive new art and detailed background information that explores the 9 Loyalist chapters. That looks super cool. I'm going to have to get that.
I think you should.
That's awesome.
Gaunt's Ghosts have a print on demand for the first 3 novels.
Nice.
That's actually really cool. So if you wanted those, you can go back and get them. Side note, Vaults of Terror, The Dark City is being printed in French and German.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then ebook subscription. This is really cool. 5 stories from throughout the different Warhammer worlds. That's probably going to be a pretty good little subscription to get,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Looking at Necron, Gitz, Stormcast, what's his name? Dark Angels, and what's that last one? Is that Sisters of Battle?
Yes.
Okay. That's a weird. Okay. So, yeah, might be fun.
It looks like here we've got the stuff coming up for Warhammer Plus this next week. Just really basically how to paint vampire skin for your vampire priests from the new Blood Hunt. Yep. And it looks like we're going to have boarding action with some
Gene Stealers.
I almost said Zerg. With some Nids. Good stuff. Well, I mean, Black Library Celebration. No better time to release, End of the Death Volume.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be in on that book.
I'm actually kind of shocked that they didn't hold that off till Adepticon. That's strange, but that's always, to me, if I was at Adepticon, I'd be pissed if it was pre-order that weekend, because you have such access to internet and all that stuff. So probably a smart idea to get it out of the way now.
And then announce Volume 2 at Adepticon. There you go.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah, news at 11. It's very bookish, but if you want to get your Astra Militarum upgrades and all that, a few things you've been waiting for, particularly Rough Riders. There you go.
Yepper.
And let's look forward to a really good book from Dan Abnett.
Oh yeah.
I apologise for that, but I think you'll find this a bit more interesting.
All right, we're here to talk about the little fellas, the mushroom seekers, the weirdos, the Gloomspite Gitz. So the way we kind of figure we'd do this, give a quick overview. In order to even talk about the narrative side, we kind of have to go over the army-wide special rules.
Oh, yeah.
So that the narrative stuff makes sense. So we'll hit that a little bit. And then, obviously we're going to just totally deep dive into Men Who Read book, basically, as far as the Path to Glory goes, because it's so good.
It's so wacky. It's everything you would kind of think that you would get out of a Gloomspite Gitz kind of battle tome.
Yeah.
It's all about the mushrooms.
Well, one thing I will say about this book as a whole is they toned down some of the random stuff that made the army feel a little too unpredictable in matched play, and they took all of that weirdness and threw it into the narrative side.
Oh yeah.
Which is, it serves both purposes. For those of us that want to play a fun, hilarious Gloomspite Gitz list, no matter what your flavor is, you can do that on the narrative side. But if you want to take a seriously competitive Gloomspite army into a tournament, yeah, you don't have to worry about, so much random movement. The randomized stuff that's in there now is usually in addition to what you normally do. So it's a lot more predictable, and you can get expected results.
Yeah, I really like that. I think the big culprit when it came to the randomness was always going to be the squigs.
Yeah.
Since they moved like a random amount, 3d6, 2d6. They've really shorn that up now, so that way you have like a dedicated amount of movement, like 10 inches, 12 inches, whatever it is, plus a d6, right? So they set up so you have some certainty in what you're capable of doing, And then what you do is you have your plan set up, so you base it off of which is usually like an 11 to 13 inch movement. Yeah. And then anything you get on top of that is a bonus, right? Gives you more maneuverability. They figured out the Bad Moon, which is really great.
Thank you.
Real quick, Reader's Digest version, so I don't read it verbatim. But, all right, so if you've got a Gloomspite Gitz army, then you have the Bad Moon, all right? It starts off in one quarter. The Gloomspite Gitz player decides which quarter, okay? It starts on a quarter.
Yes, it starts the game in the game.
Yes, not off the board.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Where you might have a weird double jump, right?
Yeah.
It starts on the board, starts with you, so you at least know which table quarter you can really operate off of, right? If there are more than one Gloomspite Gitz player, you roll off to determine
so awesome.
who gets to say where the Bad Moon is.
Because there's only one moon.
That's right.
And there's two players. So I love that, how they had to word that in there.
Yeah.
Because, whoopsie, what if you get the mirror match?
Yeah. There will be mirror matches based on this tome. So then, at the start of the second battle round, before command points and all that, if there's only one player, they roll a dice. On a 1 to 3, the moon stays where it is. On a 4 to 6, it progresses 1.
Yes,
right?
That's what you want.
There are 4 possible positions. So the quarter it starts in, the center, the quarter diagonal to the original, and then off the board. Right? 4 possible positions. It will be on the board for at least 3 rounds.
That's right.
Right? Scragrot, who is going to be an auto-include in every army, I'll tell you, has once per battle he can decide what the moon does.
Right.
Right?
And that's huge.
Oh, yeah. If you are in a mirror match, before the bad moon moves, both of you roll to see who gets to roll for the bad moon.
Oh, God, that's so cool.
It's so funny. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, it's a lunatic type thing. I absolutely love it.
It is bonkers. When it's in the starting quarter, it only affects that quarter of the table, regardless of what size it is. When it moves to the center is when it's bonkers because it affects the entire table.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to get it and keep it.
Yep.
And do everything you can to keep it there.
Yep.
And that means Scragrot. That means every spell that can affect the roll has to be taken.
Yes.
At
Yes, it
least
does.
once.
But why? Why do we care about the bad moon so much? The light of the bad moon. Well, you get benefits based off of your units that are affected by the bad moon. So starting with the Frothing Zealots, if you have any Moon Clan units, which are generally your masses of little grots,
Yep. You little boys.
right? If they're affected by the light of the bad moon, then they rally on a 4-up instead of a 6-up.
That's just dumb.
Yeah. Keep that in the back of your mind when we get to one of these stupid heroic abilities.
Oh, my God.
That's just ridiculous. Lunar Squigs. So Gloomspite gets squig units when they're affected by the light of the bad moon, can charge even if they ran the same turn. So get run and charge.
Yeah, this is just an OP book.
Yeah.
I mean, this book is just OP. That is so cool. Oh, my God. That is such a great. Oh, I love it.
So the one thing to know about that is you have to look at the timing effects of it, right? So you can move into a table quarter. So you can run your units into a table quarter affected by the light of the bad moon and still charge because of the timing.
Yep.
Right? So you have to check the timing on it to see what's going on.
Yep.
The Troggots, when they're under the light of the bad moon, add 1 to their save rolls just for being there. This is huge for just a true type of anvil unit they have now.
Yep.
Like those Trogs can be hard to take down.
And yeah, they're objective holders that are on point and actually making them save. When I first read that, I was like, they didn't give him anything to attack, and I'm like, nah, it makes more sense to give him a buff to the save.
Yep.
So,
and there's a buff to their survivability too, because I'll just say it now: Trogs regenerate in every hero phase.
Oh God, that's stupid.
Even if they haven't taken wounds the last round, every hero phase.
This book is broken.
You don't have to roll for it. It's just your Trog boss heals D6.
Yep.
And your other Trogs heal D3.
Yeah.
Every hero phase, right? So that's just so powerful. And we'll see here with one of these sub-factions just how insane that regeneration really starts to stack.
Oh, it's going to get bad.
Then the Spider Fang Venom, your Spider Riders, your Arachnaroks, they will mortal wound on a 5 instead of a 6, which is statistically so much better.
Oh, bonkers good. Oh, boy.
50% increase in mortal wound output.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of want the light of the bad moon.
Bad Moon's pretty good now.
Yeah.
And because it starts on the board, it's not stupid anymore. So, yeah, kudos for just, if all they did was fix that, this is a great book.
You know, maybe what I'll end up doing just as a fun little, I have a ton of grots. They're all with like little white cloaks, but I might end up painting them yellow with some Zia symbols on them because they're all bad.
Oh, God.
Little local slang for you. Eee, they're all bad, huh? That moon's all bad, hey.
Oh, God. West Side.
So that's why you want to be under the light of the bad moon. There's some really powerful abilities in here that help with managing the light of the bad moon when it's not coming strictly from the bad moon.
All right.
So Gloomspite gets heroes. They get special heroic actions. So you have 2 of them. One is for your Moon Clan. One is for your Troggoths.
Right.
Okay. This first one is sheer insanity if your Moon Clan units are affected by the light of the bad moon. So Beck and the Lunatic Horde, only a Moon Clan hero affected by the light of the bad moon can carry this out. They immediately issue the rally command up to 3 times without any command points being spent. But you have to pick different Moon Clan units.
Different.
Right?
And keep in mind that if it's in a quarter, only the hero has to be in the quarter. You just pick the units after that. So.
But when you do the rally effect, if they're in the light of the bad moon, then they rally on a 4-up.
Oh, God, I hate this army.
So you can imagine that if you really wanted to like swarm, because it's 125 points for Stabas, right?
Yeah.
125 points for Stabas. I figure you reinforce, 3 units have 3 units of 40 running around. They're going to be real hard to pick away because you can, retreat, rally.
Yeah.
Particularly because it's a heroic action.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't even say in your turn. You can rally. You can do this rally effect in your opponent's turn.
That's not fair.
Right? So, yeah, okay, I had to retreat to make sure that you didn't kill any more guys. But you can't rally now. Oh, well, it's your turn now. Rally. I'm back up to 3 units of 40.
This is just crazy.
Which is, there's something that comes up on the Stabas War Scroll specifically. If you have 20 or more models in the unit, you cap objectives from 9 inches.
Right.
Instead of 6. So you get to do this sort of like retreating horde thing. Mm-hmm. So you still manage to maintain the objective and you can get more models onto the objective for purposes of capping it. So yeah, they kind of make Grotz good again.
The big thing about this book is it's a killy book. There's a lot of damage you can do, but this is an objective control army. Yeah. This is truly a control army. And if you keep that in mind, if you keep that in mind, a heck of a lot more of this will make a lot more sense.
Yeah. And it kind of throws something a little bit on top of that so we can just get it done and out. The Loon Boss, the on foot, when he issues the all-out attack command to a unit of Stabas, every 6 to hit is a mortal wound in the attack sequence. Jesus. Can you believe that?
No, it's like I said, this book is OP.
You can get 3 ranks of Stabas in. You got your barbed nets in there too, right? Every 6 is just dealing out mortal wounds.
This book needs to be... I would ban this book. They really did make them good again, and they made them a lot of fun to play. And while this might sound like, oh my God, that's OP or something, it really is not.
No, it's not.
When you look at what they're going to be facing and what, abilities, there's a lot of armies out there that now have the ability to turn off rally, so that just doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Horrorghast, just take one in your list, right?
It's...
the Trog Boss gets a Wade and Smash heroic ability. Only if he's within 3 inches can he carry it out. He can make a 6-inch move, but must finish the move within 3 inches of any enemy unit. So he kind of consolidates, I guess is how you call it, or does a pile-in kind of effect. And at the end of the move, you roll a dice for each enemy unit within 1 inch on a 2+, they take D3 mortals. So he just kind of like, smashes around a bit, right?
Yeah, this is a good one for repositioning in close quarters when you want to get that multiple hero buff. It's super handy, especially on a model that has his base size. Yeah. Frostlord on Stonehorn has kind of the same thing.
Yep.
Except his base is so big that you can very rarely find a way to use it.
Yeah.
This guy is actually going to be able to be very effective.
Yeah.
So
when it tags into, that's a good concept to bring up too, because there's almost the exact same ability with one of the 2 Monstrous Rampages that you get now for just having Gloomspite, the Giant Boing. So it's a Mangler Squig. After it's made a charge move and carry out a Monstrous Rampage, it makes a 3d6 move.
Yeah.
But it must finish within 3 inches of any enemy units. Again, repositioning.
Yep.
It's super powerful. And I feel like you just got to take a Mangler, like no matter what. If you've got the room, take a Mangler.
Just the fun options that it gives you. Plus, it's another one of those, I don't want to call it a distraction carnifex, but the opponent is going to have to deal with that thing. Otherwise, it's going to be going all over the board and screwing up everything you want to do. It will get into those shielded sentinels. It will bang into shielded, protected units. It'll bust castles. And so, you can't just ignore it.
No, you can't. It's the base size isn't huge either. I think the Trog Boss and the Mangler might be on the same base size.
I think so.
Or pretty close to it. So they actually can just really get into places.
Yeah.
Those little nooks and crannies. And Mangler Squigs just tear up things. Yeah. So
that's
they're
why
really
they
good.
Call them Manglers.
Yeah. I mean, the other Monstrous Rampage is Ensnaring Web. Ragnarok can carry out this monster rampage. Pick one enemy hero within 3 inches that is not a monster, roll a dice. If your score equals or exceeds the hero's wound characteristic, they cannot fight in the following combat phase.
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh yeah,
That is not fair. Oh, I hate that. Oh my gosh.
that's been sort of one of my recommendations. If you can slot a Ragnarok in,
Yeah.
right, just for that like real. Again, it's a very techie piece, but I can get in and then here's this 4 wound, 5 wound hero. Man, if I roll, here we go. Right?
It's like I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm really intrigued, not so much by the Gloomspite part of this book, but I really want to lean into the Ragnarok. I'm going to keep my eyes out for some spider units and see how that works out. Give them to the wife, let her paint them because she's twisted.
That's the one part of the army I have not bought into yet. And so, thinking if I want to expand my Gitz, that'd be the way to go for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of the generic army rules. There's a slew of enhancements and artifacts. Just some standout things for me. I had this one Mangler squig during an older Path to Glory. That was the scourge of everyone. It was a loon boss. I gave him the clammy cowl and the fight another day. So he was always -1 to hit. And then if he fought first, which if I positioned him right, he fought first, he would just bounce out of combat afterwards.
Yeah.
So you'd have this sort of like pinpoint wrecking ball, right? Where you just like right there, bam, you hit and you get out of dodge, get onto an objective, right? So there's some play there. Some of the fun ones though, I like the Trog stuff, honestly. The Alpha Trog,
Yep.
+2 wounds and you become a monster.
That's bonkers.
That's
great.
great.
That's really good, especially the way this book treats monsters as, they're people too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Loon Skin being able to take an endless spell, one of the Gitz endless spells, without paying for it, right?
Yep.
And then having your Trog boss be able to cast it as well, which you'll see factored into one of the lists I made.
Okay, cool.
Artifacts of power, again, stand out for me are the glinty gubbins that Troggoths found. I love the Peck Ribley. Brought that up earlier. So you add 1 to the bearer's wound characteristic, right? So these guys start at 12 wounds, 4 up save. So if you're looking to stack your wounds, you can get up to 13 wounds with the previous Alpha Trog boss plus this.
Yep.
Benefit, though, is anytime you take a wound, right, you roll a dice. On a 1, your Pet Gribbly is squished, and your Trog boss becomes enraged, getting +1 to hit and +1 to wound.
For the rest of the game.
So you go from 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, to 4 attacks, 2s and 2s, -2 for D6 damage.
It's ridiculous.
Right? So much fun.
And you're going to be fishing for that. Please crush my Gribbly.
Hold on. Come on. I just need a 1.
Yeah.
Daddy needs a 1.
Exactly.
Spell lores, I think all of them are pretty useful.
Yeah, they did a great job with making their spells they're going to fit your style. There's something in here for whatever kind of army you want to build.
I mean, look at Itchy Nuisance, casting value 6, range of 18 inches. That's pretty solid. Pick an enemy unit, they fight last.
Yeah. So
I'll
you're going
take
up
it.
against Daughters of Cain who are going to alpha strike you? Not today, lady.
Nope.
There's so many I don't know. I went over to the Spider Fang stuff. I love these things. Pick a friendly Spider Fang unit wholly within the range visible. That unit can make a normal move right there during the hero phase. You're going to be moving your spiders. Yep. Anytime you get out of phase, movement or combat, I just love it.
So one powerful one out of the lore of the Spider Fang was Curse of the Spider God.
Mm-hmm.
So casting value 7, range of 24. That's huge.
Yep.
Pick 1 enemy unit within range invisible. Until the start of next hero phase, hit rolls for attacks made by that unit always fail on an unmodified 1 or 2.
Yep.
Instead of only a 1, and save rolls for attacks that target the unit always fail on an unmodified roll of 1 or 2 instead of only a 1. So go ahead, do all your save stacking that you want to, right? It still fails on a 2.
Yeah.
That's super powerful.
Again, it's just like making it mortal wound on a 5 or 6. That's it doesn't seem like, it's only 16%, but it actually, in the actual rolling of the dice, you spike one or the other, hurts.
Yep. Yes, sir. So good stuff there. Hand of Gork is still Hand of Gork. Nicket is still, what it is.
Yeah.
Same with Squiglor.
Yep.
So re-rolling charges for Squigs is really good.
Oh, it's,
And then we got the Gittish Hordes, the army rules. It's boiled down to 5 different factions. all of them have their own useful and unique things.
They added, they added the King's Gitz, and what was it? The other one that was new was what, Glog's Megamob, I think is new, isn't that?
I thought Glogs was like a War Scroll thing before. I don't remember Bad Snatchers. I mean, they reworked the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all of these have their own unique flavor and identity, right? Which for, narrative players is great. The King's Gitz, this is Scragrot's
You betcha.
group. I mean, he is the Loon King, right? If you command a King's Gitz army, you can re-roll the dice roll when using the Bad Moon Loon Shrine's Moon Clan Lair ability. Well,
Huge,
what does that mean, guys?
especially when it goes into the center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Bad Moon Loon Shrine, right? Good chance to talk about it. So you cannot, it's impassable. It's something you set up at the beginning of the game, right? It's that massive piece that literally you can't find anywhere.
Right.
Because it's sold out. Effigy of the Bad Moon. Gloomspite units, Gitz units are affected by the light of the Bad Moon while they are wholly within 12 inches of this terrain feature. Doesn't say it relies on where the Bad Moon is. It's just, if you're wholly within 12, you're affected by the light of the Bad Moon.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Then it's got the Moon Clan Lairs. So this is what they're talking about,
Yep.
right?
This is the one that gets affected.
At the end of each of your turns, you can pick one friendly Gloomspite Gitz unit that has been destroyed. Read that again. Gloomspite Gitz units. Okay? That's any of them.
Wow.
The unit picked cannot be a hero, cannot be unique. It must have a wounds characteristic of 5 or less, right? So this is most of your army.
Yeah.
Okay? After you pick that unit that has been destroyed, roll a dice. On a 4+, a replacement unit with half of the models from that unit that was destroyed is added to your army. Set up that unit wholly within 12 inches of a Bad Moon Loon Shrine, your army more than 3 inches away from enemy units. Each destroyed unit can only be replaced once, and replacement units cannot themselves be replaced. And if you got Stabas or Shootas, you can include up to half as many netters as you had before.
Right.
So,
Surely that can only be once per game, right? No, it's every turn. Oh, boy.
at the end of each of your turns, you get to do this.
So just on the odd off chance that one of your units of 40 gets blasted off the table, they just might be coming back as a unit of 20.
Yeah.
So, oh God, that's just, that is Zinch pink horror level bad.
And one other thing to keep in mind, too, it's not destroyed this turn or last turn.
Right.
Or two
Just
turns ago.
destroyed.
Just destroyed. So they finally, after all those rallies, waded through your 40 dudes and, there's 20.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
Can be a very disheartening thing to just watch that whole unit reappear.
Yeah.
And you just go, damn it.
So if you're leaning into the Stabas, right, this is the army that you're taking.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking Scragrot, you're taking Gabapalooza, you're taking, 3 units of 40, little Stabas to rush up there with their spears, loon bosses to make sure that they stab mortally. And yeah, it's just wacky times to be had. This is, like you said, an objective control army. Bad Snatchers. So this is one where you kind of like have multiple wizards, which you tend to do.
Yeah.
Real quick note, Scragrot is the King's Gitz, no matter what.
Right.
But for Bad Snatchers, if you have multiple Bad Snatchers wizards, if they're within 9 inches of another friendly wizard, you can re-roll one of the dice in your casting roll. So it gets you somewhat more consistent casting.
Yeah. I mean, their casting rolls are reasonably high. There are 7s and a couple of 8s and a 6 or 2.
Yeah.
So you're not always going to get the stuff off, and that could be real helpful if you're magic based. So the Jaws of Mork, another one. This one gives you add 1 to the attack's characteristics of fang-filled gobs, massive fang-filled gobs, and huge fang-filled gobs used by the Jaws of Mork squig units if they made a charge move the same turn. So if you're leaning into the big squigs, bingo, here you go.
Yeah, squigs all over the place.
Yes.
Which squigs are so fun. They're so fun to paint. They're also easy to paint if you want to do a monochromatic.
Yeah.
But it's just, squigs are fun. Like, you're just going to have so much fun.
Yes.
I think you got fun with the rest of the army, though. The King's Gitz sounds a little more tactical.
Oh, yeah.
Glog's Mega Mob. So this is your Trog one, and this one is kind of dumb. Each time a friendly Glog's Mega Mob Trogoth unit fights, after all its attacks have been resolved, the effect of its regeneration or greater regeneration ability is triggered.
Oh, that is crap. So you're going to fight, you're going to take a couple of wounds, you're going to heal those wounds back, and your opponent is going to look at you like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, resolve all my attacks, heal D3 on this unit.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. Wait, what? Yeah, no, that is It's a control army, I'm telling you.
So when you have, like, when we talk about an anvil unit, they crash into your rock guts, right? They have a 4-up safe. Unalive the Bad Moon, they're rolling at a 3, which you could still issue them orders. You can still, cast Mystic Shield on them, right? And then you have this double regeneration ability. So they crash into you. Oh, y'all also have a 5-up ward. I forgot to say that. So the rock guts sit there and tank it. Then they fight back and they heal. And then it's a hero phase and they heal. And then they fight you, they heal. Like,
it's just off the hook. Oh my God. This is going to be an incredibly difficult army to chew through.
Yeah.
So,
love it. And then why don't you read this next one, Bill?
Okay. The Grim Scuttle. This is the Arachnaroks for all you spider lovers out there. So, Grim Scuttle, their ability is through the cracks, they creep. During deployment, if any Grim Scuttle, Skitterstrand, Arachnaroks have been set up in ambush as reserve units, using the Ambush from Beyond ability that they have, instead of setting up another friendly Grimscuttle Spiderfang unit, you can place that unit to one side and say it will join that friendly Arachnarok unit in ambush. Up to 2 units can join each friendly Arachnarok as a reserve unit. Oh my God, it just starts out as ugly. But then, when a friendly Grimscuttle Arachnarok is set up on the battlefield for the first time, set up all units that joined it wholly within 12 inches of it and more than 9 inches from enemy units. So, can you say Castle Breakers?
Yeah.
Can you say, I'm just now deep in the middle of your chili?
Yeah.
It's just, even if you only do 1 Arachnarok and 2 units, what's his name? Spider Riders. Just knowing that you have that in your back pocket, your opponent has to deploy completely differently. They have to protect all their back objectives. And they have to truly think about, especially if you're an elite army, if you're doing the Lumineth or the Stormcast or something like that, you're going to have to be really aware of board positions and not let these guys just go and grab an objective out from under you because you'll never get it back.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, super good ability. I like the way they didn't really, for the Arachnarok units, they didn't lean real hard into them with this book. But if you have them, they gave you enough rules to make playing them a lot more fun than they used to be.
Yeah, these guys just look so zany. I am absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm kind of wondering, and just, I don't think there's quite a solid answer on this, but I would suspect. So the Skitterstrand Arachnarok is just the monster without a rider.
Right.
Right? And it says you can also have just Grimscuttle Spiderfang units, right? Join it?
Yep.
Well, your heroes are Spiderfang, and they would be Grimscuttle.
Yeah.
So if I'm reading that correct, you can have a hero pop up, 2 heroes pop up with your monster.
Yeah.
And just come into one side of the board and just shred.
Just wreck face. Yeah.
Woo!
Yepper.
That sounds like a good time.
It really, I think you could really lean into, like I said, they made spiders more fun.
They did.
They made spiders great again. So.
As they should have.
So, yeah, it's those models aren't exactly super, easy to get and put together and what have you. But, if you already have them, you're golden.
Oh, yeah. Just real quick before we get into Path to Glory, I just want to talk about some sort of standout units in the book. There's so many great things in here, but Skragrod is just, like, bar none, just one of the best units in this army.
I think, like you said, he's pretty much an auto take if you're doing anything but leaning directly into Arachnarok.
Agreed. All right, so, first blush, he looks like garbage, right? 6 wounds, 5-inch move, 5-up save, 6 bravery. His attacks, he's got 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3's -1 D3 damage. You're looking at that like, why are you saying that this guy's any good?
Loser.
I know, right?
Yeah.
His Babbling Wand, once per turn, he can issue a command without a command point being spent.
That's not very fair with all the commands they have.
Oh, yeah.
That's not very fair.
That's pretty good. Okay. Let's see what the next thing is. Damoon on a Stick, which is also his weapon. If this unit is included in a Gloomspite Gitz army, friendly Gloomspite Gitz units are affected by the light of the Bad Moon while they're wholly within 12 inches of him.
Wait a minute, what? He's a portable? Oh, that's not fair.
A portable moon? Well, there's another one of those, too. His crown. He has a ward of 4+. In addition, you add 1 to casting and unbinding rolls.
This guy's broken.
Oh, it gets even better. His Loon King's Entreaty. This is where once per battle you can choose not to move the moon, or you can choose to move the moon. Whatever you want to do.
So if it's in the center, choose not to move it.
What? Who would have thought?
I'm just saying.
Then he's got Fangs of the Bad Moon. I love this.
Oh, this is broken.
Casting value of 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
+1.
You're +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. think it
Range of
goes off.
24. Pick one enemy unit within range invisible to the caster and roll a number of dice equal to the casting roll. Not unmodified, to the casting roll. For each 3+, the unit suffers a mortal wound.
That's just bonkers. That
Isn't that fun?
just think about rolling boxcars.
Right.
And okay, a 3-up, so 50%. So you're gonna look at 6 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Just for living.
Yeah.
On a 3-up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he'll spike mortal wounds all day. And the thing is, if he doesn't have enough else to do, I mean, he'll do that. One thing I forgot to read, he can cast 2 and unbind 2.
Yeah.
And if he's part of Gloomspite Gitz army, he knows all the spells from the lore of the Moon Clan. So he knows all 4 of those spells.
So I guess they kind of made Gut Ripper a thing.
Yeah,
Or Scragrot. I said Gut Ripper.
I was like, what is he?
Scragrot. They made Scragrot a thing.
Gabapalooza, this is really interesting. It's not unique. It's just single.
Yeah.
Right? So I read that as you can take multiples, I would say. Right? Multiple Gabapaloozas?
Yep.
All right, so the Boggle Eye is a wizard. He can attempt to cast 1 and unbind 1. The Shrewmancer is a wizard. Can cast 1 and unbind 1. And each time you take a spell or enhancement, the spell that you pick for this unit is known by both the Boggle Eye and the Shrewmancer. No other models in this unit can attempt to cast or unbind spells.
Aw.
And so while you have all of them in your unit, you kind of pick which ones would be killed as you go, but it's 3 wounds each, 6+ save. Hallucinogenic Fungus Brews. In the first battle round, this unit has a ward of 4+. In the second battle round, it has a ward of 5+. In the third and subsequent battle rounds, it has a ward of 6+. So they want you to have them alive for the very beginning to really get that first push.
Yep.
And after that, it's sort of, they're probably going to die anyway, guys. So stop trying anything.
Yeah.
The Gabapalooza Noets. Once per turn in your hero phase, this unit can use its Gabapalooza Noets. If it does so, you pick one of the effects that apply. So you have the Glare Face Dance. You can only do it if you have a Scaremonger. You pick one friendly Gloomspite Gitz wholly within 12 inches. Add 1 to run and charge rolls. Really good for squigs.
Maybe.
Petaled Potion. You can only pick this effect while this unit has a Brewgit. You pick one friendly Gloomspite Gitz hero within 12 inches. Add 1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made with the weapons by that unit until the start of your next hero phase.
Okay, that's just... This book needs to be just flat out banned. I don't think it needs, corrections here and there, or in fact, it needs banning.
Oh, yeah?
This is so good.
We're not even done yet. Nasty Poisons. You can only pick this if you have a Spiker. Pick one friendly Gloomspite Gitz unit wholly within 12 inches. Improve the rend characteristic of that unit's weapons by 1.
Okay, now that is truly huge.
Yeah.
When you look at how much stuff is out there that now doesn't care about Rend 1 or turns it off in some way, being able to get over that threshold is huge.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Lumineth.
That is just so great.
Yepper.
Mesmerize. This is a spell that the Boggle Eye can cast.
Oh, boy.
All right. Value of 6, 12 inches. Successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within range, invisible. Until the start of the next hero phase, they cannot issue or receive commands. Fantastic. That's a potent spell.
That's ridiculous.
You got to be close, but it's potent.
And it's only a 6-up. That's ridiculous.
Next one is the Fungoid Cloud. This is the Shrewmancer, casting by 6, range of 12. Successfully cast until the start of next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target friendly Gloomspite Gitz units while they're wholly within range of this unit, so wholly within 12.
Bonkers.
Yep. So you just get all kinds of overlapping buffs. Again, it's very combo oriented. Absolutely love it. That's why I say Gabapalooza stands out.
Yeah. It's a good thing you can't take that with the Ragnarok in reserve, because that would make just an unkillable.
Pop up. Hey, guys.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, just so good.
So then the Fungoid Cave Shaman I want to mention, because it's only 90 points. I mean, it's 5 wounds, 6-up save, no ward, but it's a nameless hero, so it can take artifacts.
Yep.
And it's got the Mouthpiece of Mork. In your hero phase on a 4+, you get an extra command point. And then the Death Cap Mushroom, it's, let's see, once per battle. Once per battle in your hero phase, you can eat the mushroom. It can cast an additional spell, and it would know everything from the lore of the Moon Clan. So it's like, I need that clutch cast.
Yep.
Right? I love this. The Spore Squig. This unit is not visible to enemy units that are more than 12 inches away. Like, just not visible.
I love that.
And then it's got its basic spell, which is if you're close to it in 6-inch range, it'll explode mortal wounds. You got your other, standard stuff. Like the Stabas, like I said before. Their barbed nets have changed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be within an inch of the model, because I remember before I'd have to like set up all my netas just right on the front ranks.
Yeah, and that's gone.
Yep.
Now it's just so much easier to play, and that was one of those quality of life changes in this book that was just huge.
Yeah, so now it's just subtract 1 if they have any netas in the unit.
Right.
But the poking spears and the barbed nets have 2-inch range. So if you go back to the Loon boss, you're just issuing the command. You're trying to fish for the mortals off of it, right? Because they don't really do much else, And I was wrong when it comes to the I'm the boss now, stab him good ability. It's a 6 does a mortal wound in addition, so you can still try and get through an extra little chip damage.
Yeah, but you still want to fish.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just, there's some wacky, powerful stuff in here. Manglers are manglers.
Yeah.
Loon bosses on manglers are loon bosses on manglers.
Yes, they are.
They're all super good. And then just a quick overview of the Troggoths, since we'll be talking about those in the lists.
Yeah.
Your Fellwater Troggoths, 4 up save, 4 wounds, right? You notice how it falls under the 5 wound category.
Oh, no.
Units of 3. Up to 9, I guess you could reinforce it if you wanted to. They've got their Noxious Vomit, 6-inch range, 1 attack, 2s, 3s, -2 D3 damage, so they still spit a good amount.
But yeah, just before you move on, just think about that. A normal unit is 12 wounds that are going to be healing D3 every time you look at them. So
Correct. So regeneration at the start of the hero phase, you can heal up to D3 allocated to this unit.
Yeah, not the hero.
Terrible Stench, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by enemies that target while they're within 3 inches of any friendly units with this ability. So they're real stinky and it's hard to hit.
Yes.
Noxious Vomit. If any wounds caused by this unit's Noxious Vomit are allocated to an enemy unit and not negated, the enemy unit is drenched in vomit until the start of your next hero phase. While a unit is drenched in vomit, subtract 1 from save rolls for attacks that target that unit, and ignore positive modifiers to save rolls for attacks that target that unit.
Dear God.
A unit cannot be drenched in vomit more than once at the same time. Oh, you can't save stack anymore because I threw up at you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just gross. It's just gross.
It's gross, and it's also real gross when it comes to damage.
Yes.
To think that, like, okay, so I Mystic Shield, and, I'm going to all-out defense. All right, Cole, you done? Yeah. Oh, you were drenched in vomit. Do you not remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I subtract 1 from your save roll.
Take off your toys, mate.
Yeah. Like, how funny would it to see, like, Archaon get drenched in vomit?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And then you have just all these rock guts come over and just smash him.
Just start wailing on him. Oh, God.
And speaking of, and their base attack, their Spike Club, 2-inch range. This is important because they're on 50 mils, I think.
Yes.
4 attacks, 3s, 3s, -1, 2 damage. Not bad. When you think that their vomit makes it so it's -2.
Yes.
Right? With no positive modifiers.
And don't be that guy. It's a 50 mil base. They can't stack.
Yeah.
So.
Rockgut Troggoths. 6-inch move, 4 wounds, 4+ save, 5 bravery. They got their throwing boulders. It's a 9-inch range. Do not use the attack sequence for an attack made with throwing boulders. Instead, pick one enemy unit within range and roll a dice. Add 1 to the roll if the target has 5 or more models. On a 4+, the enemy's unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So it's sort of like as you're coming up, you're just kind of peppering them.
Throwing rocks.
Right.
They
have at the start of the hero phase, you can heal up to 3 wounds, D3 wounds.
Ridiculous.
Stony Skin, 4 up ward.
Ridiculous.
They're massive stone mauls.
5 rock guts, 5 upward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 up ward.
Yep.
Underlie the Bad Moon with a 3 up save. 2 attacks, 3s, 3s, -2, 3 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't seem like that many attacks, Josh. You're right. Let's go ahead and talk about the Denkhold Troggoth, right? All right, so he has greater regeneration. 6-inch move, 12 wounds, 4 up save. Greater regen. At the start of the hero phase, you can heal up to D6 wounds. I forgot to say, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So, all right, so this guy's got magical resistance, so he ignores spell effects on a 4 up.
Yeah.
Start of the combat phase, he's got his squiggly beast followers. At the start of the combat phase, roll 1 dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of any friendly units with this ability. And if it's equal or greater than the number of models in that unit, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Yeah, chip damage.
Yep. Crushing Grip. At the end of the combat phase, pick 1 enemy model within 1 inch of this unit, roll a dice. If this roll is equal to or greater than their wounds characteristic, they're slain.
Oh, that's not right. What?
So you just pop models, pop heroes.
If the roll is equal to or greater than the model's wounds characteristic, it is slain. Oh my.
It's better than putting him in the bag, I think, right?
Yeah. Wow. Jesus, that's just super strong.
Shepherd of Destruction. When this unit issues the all-out attack command to a friendly Gloomspite Gitz Troggoth unit in the combat phase, until the end of that phase, add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons.
Huh. Who knew?
Oh, so
That could make all your other Troggoths really good.
I get 33% more attacks with my rock guts?
What?
Who would have thought?
It's not fair.
Bonkers. So much fun.
There's just so much in this book that you can... literally, they made them fun again. And I mean, they really did, honest to God, make them a ton of fun to play again.
Yeah.
Without having all that random crap.
Yeah.
So I can see Gloomspite doing pretty well in the tournament scene coming up soon. You know, I mean, there are hard counters to them, and you will have to kind of, you know, you're going to have to lean into whatever it is you have decided to go in with. But
Yeah.
God, they're going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it when a book does this kind of thing. Just flat out across the board makes it to where you can pick stuff in the battle tome and have fun with it, regardless of what it is. It's not like anymore where if you weren't bringing manglers, okay, you know, you're done. You're out of there. You can really lean into any list idea that you have.
Yeah, they had no punch, but now, like, even in a standard Gitz army, you probably want to take the Fell Waters just so you can have the chance of vomiting on a key unit and then have your Mangler come in and finish it.
Yeah, I think overall they're still not a huge damage output army as, you know, some others might be, but their survivability just more than makes up for that.
Correct.
And the fact that they're going to camp on an objective and you're not going to move them off it without a considerable effort.
Yep.
So, and you know, it's, I do love the way they're sort of predisposed to eating elite armies.
Yeah.
You know, the Stormcast, the Lumineth, but they're going to, I don't know how well they're going to do when you get to another army that can charge just like they do, or that can get across, you know, the Iron Jaws could probably have a really good first turn against these guys and turn off a lot of what they were planning to do. So, I mean, it all comes down to play it correctly. And I think this book has as good a chance as any other book.
Oh, yeah.
Equally.
I forgot to make one last call out because I think this does inform what you're saying right now. The Malevolent Moon Endless spell, before it was right?
Right. It was pretty meh.
After this endless spell is moved, roll it. Sorry, I forgot to say the other stuff. It's an endless spell, predatory, and can move up to 12 inches and fly, casting value of 6. Only Gloomspite Gitz wizards can attempt to summon the spell. After it's moved, roll a dice for each unit within 3 inches of it. On a 2+, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. Gloomspite Gitz, not affected.
Right.
But the best thing it does, while this endless spell is controlled by a model in a Gloomspite Gitz army, so that's any side, right? Gloomspite Gitz units in the same army are affected by the light of the bad moon, whether wholly within 12 inches of this endless spell. So
another portable freaking bad moon.
Yep.
Ridiculous. This book is broken. I love this.
You got the Loon Shrine,
Yeah.
you got Skragrant, and you got the Malevolent Moon to make sure that you can manipulate the cycles of the moon.
And you can put the moon where you need it to be.
Yep.
You know, or the effects of the moon are going to go where you need them.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that was really hampering them before was the old rules for the bad moon were so bad
Oh, yeah.
and so out of your control, but still they were so effective that you wanted it, but you could never count on it. And like you said, it could double move off the board
Yeah.
by mistake. And it was not fun. And it was just sort of junk.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't get the bad moon anymore, the Loon Shrine. But, man, there are so many amazing STL files out there to make your own. And honestly, as much as I don't really always say that's the best way to do things, as long as GW's not producing the model, you need one.
Yeah.
So go get one.
Yeah, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
They're hard to find. So that's sort of the army preamble, right?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
Path to Glory.
literally, we took almost an hour to just preamble the army. So let's take a quick break and we'll jump into the real Path to Glory.
Sounds good.
And now for something completely different.
All right, jumping into the actual Path to Glory for the Gloomspite Gitz. Take it away, Josh.
It's already been a long path
I know.
to the path to glory, just so we can sort of understand what we're looking at with the Gitz, right?
Right.
So all that stuff, you got some strong stuff to play with before. You're not really looking at the path to glory as something that's going to completely change how the army functions. Instead, you get a wacky mini game that you get to play in game and out of game. And all you accountants out there who have somewhat of a tolerance for uncertainty in playing Gitz, this is your path to glory. Now, like I said last week, I think this might for me overtake Fire Slayers.
Wow.
Fire Slayers had that really fun mini game about like what you do, in terms of your patrons and things like that. But this one like adds literally something to do in the game. And I think that's fun. Yep. So to be short, you are collecting mushrooms in the games that you play and brewing fungus brews.
Yes.
All right, done. All right, guys, thanks for joining us.
That was great. Appreciate it.
Okay, so this is awesome. Shrooms and fungus brews. As you fight Path to Glory, you'll be able to collect a variety of bizarre mushrooms to concoct fungus brews. And what's really cool too is you have even a little tracker in the book that you can actually print out. You're going to need this, folks.
Yes.
You will need this.
You will need to copy this page.
What mushrooms you have, so you can make your various concoctions. Harvesting mushrooms. So this is something you actually do in the game. During a Path to Glory battle, Gloomspite Gitz units in your army can harvest shrooms. In each of your hero phases, you can pick one friendly Gloomspite Gitz unit that has not yet harvested mushrooms during the battle, and they do so. When harvesting a mushroom, roll on the table below to see what they add. Add 1 to the result if they are affected by the light of the bad moon, and add 1 to the result if the unit is a wizard, Gobblepalooza, or Sneaky Snufflers unit. So,
mushroom specialists.
Whoa, who would have thought, right? I mean, the Sneaky Snufflers literally smell them out. Who would have thought?
Right.
All right, roll a d6. 1 to 2, nothing happens. Roll 3 to 4. Roll on the common shrooms table. Josh, what's that? We'll get there. 5 plus, roll on the rare shrooms table.
Ooh, that's where you get the psilocybin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 4 days gone.
That's the one I took.
A roll of 3 or more will prompt you to roll again either on the common shrooms table or the rare shrooms table. Common shrooms table, D6. If you roll a 1, you get 2d6 red caps. You roll a 2, you get d6 mad caps. If you roll 3, you get d6 blue gork shrooms. If you roll a 4, you get d6 green mork shrooms. On a 5, you get d6 loon caps. And on 6, you get d3 bitter spurts.
Okay.
And I just want you to know, everyone, when you actually look at the shroom collection roster, they have pictures.
Yes.
For
all of
each
these
and
are
every one of
depicted.
these.
Yes.
So if you've ever wanted to green stuff and model up some mushrooms, they literally, what they look like.
Yeah.
Right? You know what it is that you're collecting. It's so fun.
Yep.
Rare shrooms table. I love all of the names of these.
These are so bad.
1 gets you D3 glowy mork eyes. 2 gets you D3 strangleneck fungi. 3 gets you D3 stink cranny fungi. 4 gets you 1 gray spattle thwopper. 5 gets you a death cap. And 6 gets you the coveted badloon boss fungus. Each time a unit harvests mushrooms, add the result to your shroom collection roster. There's no limit to the number of shrooms of each type you can have. If a unit finds nothing, it cannot be picked to harvest mushrooms again in the same battle.
Right.
Wow, Josh, so why do I care about all these mushrooms?
Oh, Josh, why do you care about all these mushrooms?
Well, that's because in step 7 of the Aftermath sequence, you can concoct 1 fungus brew using shrooms from your shroom collection. To do so, you must first pick 1 Gloomspite Gitz hero to be in charge of the brewing. The hero you pick cannot be unique or have a critical or major injury.
And pick a cheap one.
Yeah. We'll get to that when we get to our list that we made. The aim while concocting a fungus brew is to maximize your concoction score while minimizing your volatility score. The higher the concoction score, the more potent the effect of your fungus brew will be. But as the volatility score increases, the more likely your fungus brew is to end in a spectacular disaster, much to the amusement of the other grots. Your concoction score and volatility score both start at 0. And they have little notes over here. It is recommended that you use pencil on your paper just to keep tally. And when it gets to the shrooms, some shrooms will allow you to roll more than 1 dice during the brewing roll. In these cases, each dice that is a 1 will increase your volatility score by 1. Other shrooms might reduce your concoction score. It is possible to have a concoction score of less than 0, but it's never a good sign.
Especially when the good stuff starts at 40 points.
Yeah.
So,
When concocting a fungus brew, you add shrooms from your shroom collection one at a time. Each time you add a shroom, remove it from your shroom collection and make a brewing roll by rolling a dice. Add your brewing roll to your concoction score, and each time you make a brewing roll of 1, increase the volatility score by 1 as well. You must add at least 1 shroom to your fungus brew, but there is no limit on how many shrooms you can add. Each type of shroom has a special rule that comes into effect when it is added to your fungus brew, as shown on the table below. So why did we have all those different mushrooms hashed out like we did? It's because they do different things.
It's all over the map.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think we should read all of them, but a lot of them are just like, if the brewing roll was a 6, add 7 to your concoction score instead of 6.
Yep.
Or if the roll was a 6, reduce your volatility by 1. Or if you get like a def cap, you roll 5 dice instead of 1.
Yeah.
So you get 5 chances of rolling a 1, but you also have a chance to get 5 to 30. Yeah. Okay.
So fun. So fun. Now, that's all the stuff. So you just, assign like, I'm going to put, 3 of this, 2 of this, 4 of this, right?
Yeah. And you start rolling buckets of dice.
Buckets of dice.
Yes.
So, finishing the fungus brew. Once you have finished adding shrooms to your fungus brew, you must determine if it was success or failure. If the concoction score was less than 10, it automatically fails. Otherwise, make a brewing test by rolling a number of dice equal to the volatility score of your fungus brew and compare the result to the renown points of your hero in charge of the brewing. If the result is equal to or less than the number of renown points the hero has, the fungus brew is a success. If the result is more than the renown points, it fails. And there's a note here, because the volatility score is tested against the renown points of one of your heroes, as your heroes grow in renown, you'll be able to concoct fungus brews of greater potency.
Right.
What? Who would have thought?
So in the very first game, when you have a renown score of 1 or 2, it's going to be tough to.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your mushrooms on that first game.
Yeah. You have to spend at least 1.
Yes.
But don't spend that much. If the fungus brew succeeds, use the concoction score to determine the type of fungus brew you create. Each type of fungus brew is listed as either an effect or a potion. If it is an effect, resolve it immediately. If it is a potion, you can add it to your roster beneath your shroom collection. You can have up to 6 fungus brew potions on your roster at any one time. If you gain a potion when you already have 6, you must discard either that potion or one of your existing ones.
Right.
So, inventory management, folks.
Yeah.
Using potions in battle when picking your army to fight in a Path to Glory army, yeah, and against another, that's what I meant to say.
Right.
You can give one of your heroes one of the brew potions. A hero cannot be given more than 1, and once it is given to a hero, it is removed from your roster. The hero can then drink that fungus potion during the battle as described in the brew table. If they don't drink it, it can be added back to your roster after the battle.
Right. So you don't waste them just by putting them on your list.
Yeah.
So
I mean, these effects are crazy.
Okay, yeah, some of these fungus brews are off the hook, but again, like I said, you need a concoction score that is, you don't really start to see the amazeballs stuff until I think like 56.
Yeah, the stodgy soup.
I mean, really, at 26, you get once per battle in your hero phase. It's the yellow-eyed fungus brew. Once per battle in your hero phase, you can choose for the unit with this fungus brew to drink it. Next time it issues a command in that turn, no command point is spent. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And that's only 26 points. But then you get up to the 161 DeBoss breath. So just think about this. D6s, and you have 161 points. That is a bucket of D6s, and God knows you rolled a couple of 1s in there.
So many mushrooms.
But you'd pick one hero on your order of battle to drink this fungus brew, make a note on your order of battle. In battles fought against another Path to Glory army, each time you pick the hero to carry out a heroic action, you can pick 2 different heroic actions to carry out instead of 1. At the end of each battle, in which this unit is included in your army, roll a die. On a 1, the potion wears off. So if you get to that, it's semi-permanent.
Yeah.
It stays. That is, oh, God. And 2 heroic abilities from 1, that is strong.
That is very strong.
That is strong.
It's very strong.
Any other ones you want to cover?
The Mooney Spew Fungus Brew, I think, is
yeah.
really great for your casters. I'm thinking, like, if you do manage to get Scragrod into your list on the Path to Glory, only given to a wizard hero. They automatically drink it at the start of the first hero phase. For the rest of the battle, roll 3 dice instead of 2 when making casting rolls. However, if any of the dice in the casting roll for heroes a 1, it's a miscast. Yeah,
that's kind of you're literally adding to the chances of, I don't know, it's It's good, but I don't like that anyone is a miscast because that's painful.
I mean, if you spike that 16 to 18 on
Oh, sure.
Scragrot's spell,
Oh my God. Yeah. It's going to be nuts.
right?
Oh.
You better take Techless to stop me. But hey, we talked about failures, right?
Well, we didn't discuss them. We talked about failure, and it could be bad.
It could be very bad. In fact, there is a table for your failures.
Table of bad things.
So if your fungus brew fails, you have to roll on the table.
Yes.
D6, what does it do?
Well,
You roll a 1, your hero dies.
yeah. Bye.
Yeah, gone.
This is why you don't use the Trog Boss. You don't use the Arachnarok.
Yeah, you always keep around a little madcap or something that
That's
you
right.
can very slowly increase his renown, but if he dies, he dies, right?
Right.
Not to sound too Dolph Lundgren right there. The Laughing Stock. The hero in charge suffers a critical injury and loses D6 renown. If this reduces their renown points to less than 15, their command trait is removed.
Oopsie.
Woo!
Yeah, that could be painful.
Oh, yeah. Then the other one is a major injury and a D3 renown loss, just called uh-oh. That's 3 to 4. And you also can lose your command trait. If you roll a 5, lucky escape, there's no effect.
Wow. That's the only decent result. Well, no, that's not true because 6 is.
You get 2d6 renown points.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's a good thing. Okay. So you fail, but you got 2d6 for now.
Yeah. Imagine being a heroic failure.
Jesus.
It's called a learning experience.
Yeah.
And you get this cool shroom collection roster. Again, all 12 of those mushrooms are shown here in full detail. They actually drew them up. They look great. They look like real mushrooms to a degree. Except for that Badloon boss fungi looks strangely like a moon.
Strangely, I don't see how that would grow in nature, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's the mortal realms.
Yeah. It gives you fungus brew potions, so you have the 6 to keep track of.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then your loony records. I love this. Successful fungus brews, failed fungus brews, highest concoction score, and highest volatility score.
So you can just kind of keep track of how bad you've been at this.
That's so awesome.
Oh, that's the shtick for the Gloomspite. Everything else after this is, quests, veteran abilities, and all that stuff. But that is just such a cool little system that basically works into the game, doesn't interfere with the game in any way, shape, or form until you start, getting potions made. But it's just such a cool little, like you said, mini game inside the game. And, oh, Lord, I can just see when you start rolling that, okay, I have to roll 31 dice. I'm hoping for no ones. Unless you have the renown for it. I mean, if you have 30 renown on your little whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, oh, God, that's you're literally playing against yourself because you can just keep pushing your luck. Doesn't say you have to have at least one mushroom. Doesn't say how many.
Nope.
Just at least one. So you can really, it's a push your luck game, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And people are just going to be like, oh, I want to get to that 160, damn it.
And the thing about playing Gitz before is you had to have a high tolerance for randomness, right?
Yes.
And with the Battle Tome, generally, they've reduced the amount of randomness to it, by getting you certain move plus, additional move D6.
It's controlled random.
Yeah.
You're no longer at the mercy of the random.
But with these, you are.
Well, yeah, you start going full narrative, and all of a sudden, it's just all back.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, there's so many funny ways if you're particularly into modeling and stuff, through your narrative. If one of your madcaps is destroyed by making a fungus brew, maybe explodes into a weirdly shaped mushroom that you just have as now a terrain piece, So there's so many fun things you can do with it.
The only thing that's missing from the failure table, I would say, is darn well that they got this idea from Mitzi and Jimbo when they did their con where they had the brewmasters and the potions and all that stuff. The only thing that I literally would have fallen over and died if they had the one result where you turned into a potato. That would have just been perfect. I understand why they didn't do it, but I still think number 5 or number 5, the no effect, should have been you turn into a potato for, an hour or something that doesn't impact the game. But, just gorgeous. It's such a great system. I don't think it replaces Fire Slayers because that is such a mini game in and of itself. But this one is just so perfect for this book. Oh my God, it's good.
And maybe that's probably why I personally prefer it, since I'm more of a Gitz player than I've ever been a Fire Slayers player.
Exactly.
It's just it brings back that randomness that you don't want the randomness in your armies list, but like to play this game afterwards, and knowing that you have these little foot heroes that you can just sort of like throw at the slop.
Yep.
That they're probably going to die.
Yeah, that first couple of brews is probably going to kill your hero.
Yeah.
So just as long as you know that going in and you're willing to. But hell, if you push your luck and, God knows you can come out with 2d6 renown.
Yeah.
Even with a dismal failure. So, but once you have a stockpile of potions, you can be bonkers good.
Oh, yeah. Then it starts to get real crazy. Your quests here, one of them plays directly into this. It's called Picking Season.
Yep.
It can never be completed, but while you're on this quest, you can pick 2 units each hero phase to harvest mushrooms instead of 1. That's
a great way to get jump started.
Yep.
So I think that's your go-to initial quest.
Yep. I think so too. Excuse me. Fungus Finders is another quest. Roll 3 times on the rare shrooms table and make a note of the results in your quest log. These are the shrooms the Brugit has tasked you to find. For each roll of a 1 to 3, you need to only find one of those types rather than D3.
Very nice.
You can complete this quest at the end of a Path to Glory battle if you have all those shrooms in your shroom collection. When you complete this quest, remove the shrooms you were tasked to find from your shroom collection. You gain 3d6 glory points and D3 hallucinogenic fungus brew potions.
Awesome. Now, the hallucinogenic fungus brew, it's one of the, I'd say it's 101 point potion. So that's really big. The unit with this fungus brew automatically drinks it at the start of the first hero phase. That unit has the hallucinogenic fungus brew ability from the Gobapalooza War Scroll for the rest of the battle.
Which is the first battle round, 4-up ward, second battle round, 5-up ward, remainder of the game, 6-up ward.
Is that not just, that's bonkers good.
That's really good.
Bonkers good for like a first turn charge unit or, anything that you're looking to get stuck in on the first couple of turns. Some Troggoth somewhere.
Yeah.
Just rocking around with probably a 5-up ward. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take it.
And even if you just go down to a 6-up ward, that's still incidental, wounds you take off.
It's better than you had before. So, yay.
Love it. Quest, the Loon King's Tribute. At the start of each hero phase, roll a dice. If the score is less than the number of friendly Gloomspite Gitz heroes affected by the Light of the Bad Moon, you gain 1 quest point. So, have lots of heroes.
Yes.
Littlefoot heroes. Once you gain 10 or more quest points, you can fight Path to Glory battles using the Fangs of the Bad Moon battle plan, and you get the reward from that. And so the Fangs of the Bad Moon, Path to Glory rewards, step 1 of the Aftermath sequence, each player earns D3 glory points for each Loonstone shard they controlled at the end of the battle. There's this whole process where you have to chase around the moon because it's dropping shards. It's super fun, right? But if you got squigs, you're probably winning that one.
Yeah.
In addition, if the Gloomspite Gitz player wins the battle, they complete the Loon King's Tribute quest, and they can immediately pick 1 territory from the Gloomspite Gitz faction territories table and bring it under their control without spending any glory points.
That's bonkers.
At the end of the battle, each unit that is contesting a Loonstone shard earns 1 bonus renown point.
So that gives the other player a reason to want to play that game. Just all the bonus renown that's going to fly out there.
It gives the Gloomspite Gitz player actually a reason to play.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really wacky scenario. So let's see here.
The last quest is kind of it's simply aimed at against Duarden players.
Yeah.
It's called Raid the Stunties. At the end of a Path to Glory battle, you complete this quest if you won a major victory and your opponent's army had a Duarden general. So this one's going to be very limited in scope. When you complete this quest, each unit in your army that was not destroyed earns 1 bonus renown point. In addition, you gain 2d6 glory points. After completing this quest, you must complete a different quest before you can do this one again. So if you have more than 1 Duarden player in your league or your group, great. If you have none, well, this one gets filed under, never taken that. But because the other ones are so good, and you always want to have one of the other one of the 2 fungus quests under your belt.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to have one that's just pretty much a throwaway if you don't have the right opposing players. So.
Yeah. All all over. I mean, it's very narrative in terms of what you do. There's the one quest that feeds directly into what you're trying to do with the shrooms.
Yep.
And the, to be frank, was it Fangs of the Bad Moon quest? It's just such a wacky time. I think it'll be actually really fun just to play generally. You know?
Yeah.
So I recommend playing it even if you're not playing Gloomspite Gitz, just so you can have some fun.
It could be a really fun scenario. If you have movement, you can really, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Veteran abilities. So let me go through these just real quick.
Yeah.
Moon Clan unit for protection of the Bad Moon. Once per battle start of the shooting phase, you have a 5-up ward. Green fingers, grots.
That's not bad.
That's actually pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Green fingers, grot unit only. Once per battle, when you harvest shrooms, you add 3 to the result.
Yeah. Go figure.
So if you roll a 2+, you get rare shrooms. Sneaky Gitz. Unit with this veteran ability once per battle in your hero phase, if it's more than 9 inches away from all enemy units, can make a normal move. That's good. That's really good. Growth Spurts, Trogos. Once per battle, at the start of the hero phase, instead of using regeneration, you heal all wounds.
Wait a minute. So not D3, not D6, it's just all.
All wounds.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Frothing Nasty, Squig unit only. Once per battle, when it attempts to charge, after you make the charge roll, you can change one of the dice to a 6.
Okay, so guaranteed 7-inch charge, pretty much for sure 9-inch. Okay.
Yeah. I'll take that all day.
Broken.
Spider Fangs have creepy crawlers. Once per battle, start of the combat phase. Until the end of that phase, this unit is eligible to fight in the combat phase if it is within 8 inches of an enemy unit instead of 3, and it can move 5 extra inches to pile it.
Now, keep in mind, remember back to what I said about the Spider Fang, what do they call it, clan.
Yeah.
Basically, you can take your Spider Fang units and drop them in anywhere 9 inches away. So, yeah, you're looking at an auto pile in and charge and crush and kill. So, yeah, this is a great one to get for your Spider Fang dudes.
Oh, man. Whew. Those are all fun. Those are all fun.
They are. The veteran abilities, I think, in this one are the most focused I've seen in any of the books. They enhance what you do well.
Yeah.
And they enhance how you're going to play that unit anyway.
Yep.
So go for, with the exception of the one, for finding fungus. But if you're leaning into it, you want that anyway. But other than that, it leans into what you want to do. Really good veteran table. Really good.
Really good. We got our 6 territories. There's always a territory.
Always.
And I mean, dang, if you can get the Fangs of the Bad Moon quest done, you got to pick one of these.
Oh, I wonder which one that would be. Oh, no.
Probably 66. What? So 61, Fungus Field cannot be controlled. Instead, if you roll this result when making an exploration roll, you can choose to harvest the fungi of the cave. If you do so, roll twice on the common shroom table and once on the rare shroom table.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I got a 61. Let me get some extra shrooms real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a plus up real fast, boom, there it is.
Oh, man. Lurk Lair, 62. In step 7 of the Aftermath sequence, you can pick one Moon Clan Grot unit and recuperate it without spending any glory.
Oh, that's ridiculous. And if you upgrade it for 10 glory, you can pick 2 units?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just this book is broken.
The Trog Hole. It cannot be upgraded. You subtract 1 from the glory point cost to add, reinforce, and recuperate Gloomspite Gitz Troggoth unit. In addition, you can add the Trogherd War Scroll Battalion to your vault.
Nice.
And just so you know, they do have, I think it's all 4 of the previous War Scroll battalions that did exist. Trogherd War Scroll Battalion is 1 Dankhold Trog Boss, 3 to 9 Dankhold Troggos, Fellwater Troggos, or Rockgut Troggos in any combination, and 0 to 2 El Guzzlers. It says each time a unit in this battalion fights, after all of its attacks have been resolved, if any models were slain, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated.
Jesus. Wow. Wow. Wow.
You need to drop whole models with them because if you only do some wounds, they're just not dying.
No.
It's crazy. 64 is the Squig Paddock.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Each time you recuperate a Squig unit, that unit gains D3 renown. What? If that unit earns any rate, gets resolved immediately.
Yeah, but read the upgrade for 10 glory.
Oh, God. You get D6 renown instead.
Yeah. Stupid.
Well, those Squigs can get out of hand quick.
And I have it in my head what that would look like. A Squig Paddock with like Trog cowboys rounding up the Squig herd. I'm just like, oh, there's a animated short in there that just is so wrong.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I mean, I feel like an entire Path to Glory adventure for Gloomspite Gitz Army would be like an animated, like series of animated shorts.
It really would be. Oh God, yes.
65 scuttle tunnels. That's right. You spider riders still get something extra.
Awesome.
Can't be upgraded. In step 3 of the aftermath sequence, you pick one Spider Fang unit on your order of battle that was not included in the army. If you do so, roll a dice. On a 4+, they gain D3 renown, and you make one additional exploration roll in step 6 of the aftermath sequence.
Yeah, not bad. It's I always hate those ones where you have to take a unit out of your order of battle.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, you don't have enough units anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those as the campaign goes on, that's the one you'll pick.
Yeah. On a 1 to 3, though, you have to either make an injury
Yeah.
roll or what have you. But I mean, like, that's still just so good. That's still so good.
And then the 66.
Buried Dank Hold. Step 7 of the aftermath sequence. Roll once on the rare shroom table and add the result to your shroom collection.
Free
Yeah.
rare shrooms.
Upgraded for 15, you get a mushroom nursery. And you roll 3 times instead of once.
And keep in mind, those rare shrooms are the ones that they have the effect of like add 6 dice instead of 1, add 5 dice instead of 1. And if you roll a 6, you're lowering your, what's his name? Your, the failure portion. What do they call it?
Volatility score.
Volatility. Thank you. Yeah, we just talked about it 20 minutes ago, and already I forgot. Senior moment. So, super good territories. I like them all. And again, they all have a neat little feed in to the army that you pick.
Exactly. You got your standard heroic upgrades or core enhancements where you can take a war scroll and upgrade it.
Yep.
So your loon boss can become either a loon boss on Giant Cave Squig or on Mangler, depending on how much renown and glory you put in. Your web shaman can be a web spinner shaman on Arachnorek shaman, or spider, and the madcap can become a fungoid cave shaman.
Or the fungoid. Yeah, that's, oh boy, that good. Ooh, I love that. I love all those little enhancements they have in these books now where you can actually show some growth in your army.
Yeah.
It's very nice. So honestly, that's the Path to Glory. Such a good setup. Again, it's the randomness that was taken out of the book itself to allow you to play a better game or, a more fun, predictable game.
Yeah.
And just added completely into the narrative section, which is where that belongs. As much as I do want to say it, that's where that randomness belongs, is in the narrative section. When you're taking Gloomspite to a tournament, you would like to know, I will get 8 inches of movement out of this.
Yep.
Everything else is bonus. And I don't count on it, but God, if I get a 14, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a quick list for, say, 2 lists. Let's talk about, for a starter league, like a 600-point entry level, what's his name? Path to Glory.
Yeah.
You made up, thank God for you, because you made up these lists, because you know how I am at making lists. I am so bad.
Yeah, these I just slapped together real quick. And just so y'all know, the reason why I picked these, they're both Troggoth lists.
Yep.
The reason why I picked them is because they are the cheapest armies to buy and the easiest armies to paint when it comes to Gitz, right?
Yeah.
Instead of paying hordes of little dudes, right? They may be really easy to paint. There's just too many of them.
Yeah, to make a good list, you're going to need, probably 3 units of 40, so 120.
Yeah, starting out, you'd probably take 2 units of 20. That's 125 points each, but that's 2 boxes of the Moon Clan.
Yeah.
And then you still have 350 points to spend on, so you're probably taking a Fungoid Cave Shaman. I don't know. It's just...
But you're literally going to be blown over by the painting requirement, so...
Because this starting list I have for you is a Dankhold Trog Boss, a Madcap Shaman, 1 unit of Fellwaters, 1 unit of Rawgut Troggoths, and the Malevolent Moon.
Okay.
It comes out to 590 points out of the 600 starting, right? So you start with your Dankhold Trog Boss. He is your general. You give him the artifact Pet Gribbly because I think it's just
Because
so
you have
funny.
to.
It's just so funny. But the fact that he can enrage during the battle and do more damage is beneficial.
It's super good.
He has the command trait of Loon Skins. So that's the one that lets you take 1 of the Gloomspite Gitz endless spells for free on your roster. And he can cast it as if he was a wizard.
Right. That's super big.
And since this is a starting army, right? Of course, you'd have the Loon Shrine too, right? But you can even assume, what if there's not enough space on the board because
Sure.
it's such a small board? Well, you have the Malevolent Moon that you can essentially just have you follow around your Troggoths, right? Just to make sure they're always in the light of the bad moon, doing incidental mortals. I just think it has this really fun little flavor with the Madcap Shaman who's following this strange Trog boss who can summon a shard of the bad moon down, and while they go on their little
know
quest.
why he's following that guy.
Yeah. One each of the different types of Troggoths. Fellwaters, again, they got their vomit attacks, super good. Rock Guts hit like a freight train when you get them in, especially when you have the Trog boss give the command for all that attack. So, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, technically 5 kits, but relatively cheap overall.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
When you add everything together, you're going to want the endless spells.
Sure.
If you can't get them, you can find something to be a Malevolent Moon,
Well, and that's it. Is this list grows into any other Gloomspite list you want to. Right.
So one other thing too, the sub faction you're going for is Glog's Mega Mob.
Yeah.
Since you're going Troggoth heavy, you want to heal.
You want to lean into it. Sure.
Yeah. So I think that's a real good starter list. Again, it's got a good amount of survivability.
Yep.
Right. Aside from the Madcap Shaman, which by the way is your brewing.
Yeah.
character.
He's your brewmaster. Yeah.
He can cast spells incidentally to help you out. So I think in smaller games, the Hand of Gork isn't as helpful. But the Itchy Nuisance, so giving enemy strike last so your Trogs can get in there and smash face, is a good little wombo combo type thing. Plus, if the Malevolent Moon is dispelled, he can also try and cast it.
Sure.
In case your Trog boss goes down. So, yeah, I think it's a fun little list.
Yep. That'll work.
Now, 2,000 point list, if y'all are starting out Path to Glory heavy,
Yeah.
right, which generally you're probably not. But if you're starting out heavy and you want to do Trogs, well...
Or if it's a one-off and you just want to test the system.
So this is just Oops All Trogs for the most part. It does have a little tech in there, but not much. It's mainly focused on the Trogs. So you have your Denkhold Trog boss General. He's an Alpha Trog, and he's got his pet Gribbly. So he's a 15 wound monster that gets real angry if you squish his pet. You have another Denkhold Trog boss as another leader, and you have 2 Fungoid Cave Shaman. The Fungoid Cave Shaman are there to farm CP.
Yeah.
To get incidental spell casts, also to cast your Malevolent Moon.
Sure.
Then your battle lines, you're going to have 2 units of 3 Fellwater Troggoths, 2 units of 6 Rockgut Troggoths. I went with the 6 Rockgut Troggoths. I know there's the bravery discussion there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think, just trying to focus damage with them and using the Fellwaters to sort of skirt around the edges and try and get vomit off. Threw a Mangler Squig in there because, hey, 2 monsters is better than 1.
Because why not?
It's a Mangler. You want to have fun with them.
You do. I mean, that you have to have that.
1 unit of Squig Herd, just backfield objectives or denying some deep strike and stuff like that. But it's still an Oops All Trogs list.
Yeah.
Just, again... Trogs are probably one of the most fun in my opinion, just in terms of the models and how good they work and everything.
Well, and plus this is an army you can travel with.
Yeah.
It's easy to get to the store where, 120 isn't as easy or fun to set up. And, so this one just maximizes fun.
Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and count the models here. So you have 4 heroes. You have 18... other Trogs. So that's 22. You have 21 with the Mangler, 23 with the Malevolent Moon. Sorry.
37 total.
37 total with the Squig Herd. Yep. So, and not too many small Gribbly bits. They're all like pretty stout, pretty sturdy models.
You're going to be able to get this painted.
Yeah.
So.
And contrast your best friend with these.
Oh,
100%. 100%. The ones that I painted to use as Yetis still look mysteriously like Troggoths that I can use in my Gloomspite Gitz army.
How strange.
Who would have thought? So I got Frosty Trogs.
Wow.
There's a couple ideas, just to get started with them. I know there's more nuance and things
good
like
Lord.
that, but
I mean, we could put 12 lists together for a 600-point starter Path to Glory.
Oh, geez.
And all of them be valid.
Yep.
So, yeah. And again, it just goes back to a great segue into our overall thoughts for the book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's broken. I think it's way OP. No, I mean, I think they literally brought Gloomspite back to a point to where they're going to be competing for big wins without a doubt. If you can make up for their shortcomings and you play them to win the scenario, not to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do a lot of that, but again, keep in mind, you have bravery issues across the entire army.
Yep.
You are going to lose units, not so much to damage because they're pretty much immune, but battle shock is going to hurt. So you're going to have to be looking at ways to mitigate. Healing wise, I don't think you have any real issues in this army because just about everything either heals or rallies at a stupid level.
Yeah.
So depending on how you lean into your build. So I give this book probably a solid, if it was based on improvement only, it would be an A++.
Correct.
But overall, I think it's a solid B+ in terms of power across the board.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I feel like it's got a lot more strength for someone who's like new to it. I think obviously the strengths, if you're new to it, are going to be trogs and squigs.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of new players will lean in. I think the techier players are the ones who want to really advance the army, are going to do some combination of Gitz and Scudlers and, with one or two Trogoth units just to, hold objectives.
Give you the punch. Yeah.
So it's certainly like, I think all King's Gitz probably the most competitive. I know a lot of people are going, what?
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is just because the ability to bring back multiple units, and if you are able to maximize your ability to restore destroyed units, it's going to be hard to stop them. Emerald Lifeswarm sings in this army, particularly when you've got your little gribbly dudes.
Ridiculously
Yeah.
good. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think of like Mangler, or not Manglers, but standard squig herds, Oh, look, so many of them ran away. Emerald Lifeswarm returns them.
Yep.
Oh, I killed more ran away. Oh, look, Emerald Swarm,
Yeah.
So like they do a lot of incidental mortal wounds. They have good little combos. It's definitely a small hero army.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a problem. Fits right into the current battle pack. Who would have thought?
Who knew? And I'd say there's a lot of opportunities here to lean into. You can go wizard focus. You can go beat face. You can go simply control.
Yeah.
I mean, it can play whatever your play style is. You can find it. And like we were talking during breakfast, a lot of people had Gloomspite armies that, I mean, they already have the core of this book in big numbers. And I think we're going to see a lot of that come out. Truly believe we'll see it starting to rank well in some of the different tournaments. I'm not saying, 5-0, 6-0, kind of just win the day forever, but I think we'll start to see them represented in the top 8.
Yeah.
Easy, real easy.
Yeah, I think they're going to start making a showing for sure. Them and Beasts are going to be... Beast is definitely more like, I call it Johnny status. They're so techie. They don't have a ton of randomness, but it's so many like combos and trying to figure out the right things to do. And Gitz has a lot of that, but it also has the randomness, right? So it also has like big, crazy, zany moments, but you still get like some thinking if you want to, So it's right back where I'd want it to be. And I just didn't think they'd ever bring him to this point.
I think they did a really good job making this book work and sing in 3.0.
Yeah. So that was both the Path to and the Path to Glory. So I hope you all enjoyed the Gitz. Let us know your thoughts on them. Yeah. Particularly if you're going to have some fun brewing up some concoctions.
Yes.
I think this is a great book. And
that's going to be, that's a story in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
So next week is going to be Beasts of Chaos. Since they came out at the same time, we picked Gitz first.
Talk about broken. Oh my God. I can't wait to go into that book, because if you thought I said this is broken a lot in this book, wait till we get to that one.
Right. I have a spell that turns off Sons of Behemoth.
Yeah.
It's whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Just a thing.
Just a thing. Yeah, it's going to be fun next week to love both of these armies.
Yeah.
So look forward to talking to you all about that. And it looks like at this point, I look forward to talking to you all after dark.
The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is used under the Creative Commons license. The The Rolling Bad podcast itself is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.